Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Use that charisma to make money. This podcast is sponsored by X-Wolf Testosterone Builder. Gentlemen, are you struggling in the body, sex, or mental game? Need to keep pace with multiple women? There is an answer for you. X-Labs presents a proven line of products to help in those areas. The X-Wolf Testosterone Booster aids in intense workouts in the gym and in the bedroom. Increased blood flow and a heightened libido are just a few of the many benefits. X-Wolf contains all natural ingredients that have been used in Eastern medicine for centuries. All products come with a 30-day free trial and free standard shipping. Use code ROM10 for an additional 10% off of your order at checkout. The code will be valid through October 11th. Click the link below in the description box to find out more. Quantities are limited. Make a select choice, unleash your inner wolf, and lead the pack today. Yeah. Now, y'all remember when I did that podcast talking about who is select? And I said 3 things will make a man select. You know, and actually money is a very secondary concern. So those 3 things, of course, the body game, but also talking about charisma and just being masculine. And, you know, really many select men are going to have a combination of those 3 things, at the minimum 1 thing. You know, it's like that dude who might be homely and he's dripping that charisma. But this is bigger than getting women. Okay, you get women. All right, fine. You got some women throwing their way to you, throwing their stuff at you, showing up to your door with nothing on but a trench coat and panties and some pumps, some red bottoms. If you haven't experienced that, you're not select. So look, or got a woman who's willing to do that, you're not select. All right, that's gonna start some trouble. But no, but you got that charisma. Say it's like, you know, you ain't known like for that big chest and, you know, cable arms and all of that stuff and height, but you might be a regular dude, but you got charisma. You got that gift of gab. People like your ass. Now, of course, you get some women with it because, shoot, a dude with charisma is ultimately can be a very good seducer. But is that all you want to do is just get women with it? Even if you're working already, you can make more money with it. Because understand something about money. Money is made through relationships. Everything is a relationship. If you have a business, and as my business people know, I've talked about this before. And I said I was going to incorporate some of the more business stuff on here because I said we're going higher, we're going to do some stuff. So this is one of those podcasts to talk about it. So, okay, you got all this charisma. You dripping charisma. You can talk everything. Shit, you can talk the panties off that woman. If you can talk the panties off a woman, you can talk the money out of her bag. And I don't mean in terms of being a gigolo. I want to think about some of the biggest players I've met were just some charismatic dudes who sold women's shoes. In fact, speaking of women's shoes, there was an episode of the legendary Married with Children where Al, for whatever reason, started being charming one episode, started dressing up, you know. Instead of like talking about fat women, he would compliment them. Women were lined up. See, one thing with charisma can draw money to you because of the relationship angle. Because understand something, every business is a relationship. You know, this is a relationship now, me speaking to you. And then that brings me money because if you listening to this podcast, you know, and you decide to sit through the ads, that puts money in my pocket. But the only reason you would even do that is of the relationship, you know, or if you in sales, like if you got charisma out your ass, man, you can be a millionaire as a salesman. I know a player now. And just to be clear, I'm saying this guy's a player. As I said in a podcast before, you don't have to be a player if you select. You can be, but if you find that one high value woman, shoot, you better lock her ass down. But this guy, he'll definitely play. In fact, he's the type who can come on here and hit you with some like serious game. Some serious game. I mean, he actually tested me out. He tested me out. I said, nah, this is how you should do it. And I respect him. He's a little bit older than me, and shoot, he got the money. This dude, as a salesman, makes a minimum. His base is 6 figures. I'm saying his base because he's high end. He's rolling with dudes who, they driving those sports cars. they driving those Lamborghinis and everything. Those are dudes he hanging with. He a little chill. He just pushes his Mercedes, but he's a salesman. What he does is just use that charisma. He's making a connection with it. That's especially in sales. But say you're not into sales or anything, and that's cool. If you just going for an interview on a job, that charisma will get you the interview. Because usually, if they call you in for an interview, you already qualified for the job. But see, they called in 10 other people too. So at that point, you competing with somebody else for their job. What's going to make the difference? And I've heard this from federal agents. I've heard this from human resources people in retail. I've heard this at every level. The thing that makes a difference when you in an interview is your personality. That's what you really be an interview for. They want to see if you cool, if you can fit in. That's where that charisma take it to another level. So instead of trying to convince that woman that she should have sex with you, and you probably good at that. You probably know what to say. You know how to banter with her. You try and convince this person that you ideal for their job. It's the same thing because they're both a tool of persuasion. And that charisma, it makes you good. You come in there, you cool. First of all, like if you add some presentation to it, you go in there, you got a nice suit, shirt and tie on suit, you well groomed, maybe have just a little bit of scent on. You don't want to be overpowered. You ain't at the club. And you go in there, you start talking, they'll find a spot for you. And really even staying on jobs. I've been on jobs in the government. I've been on retail jobs. Yeah, I've been on temp jobs. Had a job after my freshman year in college sweeping streets over in Kenilworth Parkside in D.C. The way to, the key to being just in a great position is how well they like you. When they decide, now I've been on jobs where they would lay off somebody, and it wasn't because the person did bad work. The person just wasn't cool with the in crowd. They weren't cool with the in crowd. And in fact, I've seen some people who really were lousy at work, like got lousy actually doing the work, but they would survive, like as they would call it in some places, reduction in staff or reduction in force. And they would survive it just because they were cool with the right people. And in fact, let me get a little deeper. You realize on any job, especially in office jobs, anything, is politics. Politics. I've seen this in retail. I've seen this in high government clearance offices in the government. It's politics. So if you got that charisma, you can navigate it. Now that's why I see when I see some dude and I see them. Hey, you give me 20 dudes. You give me 20 dudes who they getting women based off that charisma, like they got the gift of gab, everything. I'm going to gather those 20 and I'll create $1 million business. In fact, I should challenge myself to do that. Oh, Rom got something for the business channel now. I think I'm going to do that. Because that's how I would hire people. In fact, Napoleon Hill actually said that in Think and Grow Rich on the chapter on sex transmutation. He was talking about a sales trainer who would look for that sexual magnetism. Now, he used the term sexual magnetism, but all that is just charisma. I look how personable it's stuff. If I'm hiring a salesperson, I'm gonna see how personable they are. That's the only thing I'm looking for. I don't care how talented, I don't care what they show me on their resume. I'm watching how they interacting with people. Now imagine I start something. I probably could start $1 million. I know I could, because I would sell I would have products I'm selling to women. And that's another thing with that charisma. When you dealing with something like, I've had jobs where the person interviewing me was a woman. I started thinking about my schedule for the next week as soon as I beat it. I've never been turned down for a job where it was a woman interviewing me. Never. You know, a few of them thought we could go further, but I had to stop that. But seriously, it's like, hey, use it. Use that charisma to make money. Understand, if you got that base of being able to get women, there's so much more you can go with it. If you're using it just to get pussy, that's a waste of time. That is the biggest waste of your energy. You need to transmute that thing into making some money. And if you good with people, trust me, it's the same principle. Whether you selling something, whether you convince somebody to hire you, whether you going in for a raise, it's the same principle. A good cop. Let me shift that. Like I'm familiar with a lot of law enforcement procedures and stuff. The best cops are the ones with charisma. Because any police officer can tell you a lot of the game is snitches, especially if you're a detective. If you cool, you can get that person nice and comfortable. They tell you any fucking thing. So anyway, that's all we got for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.